family. Welcome to another love stream. A new moon in Cancer. This is a beautiful ambient music by a channel called Awakening Planet. It's gonna cuddle us in the background as we get through this love stream. It's really good to be here with you again after quite a bit of a break. Many things happened, but as I told you before, I will say it again. I will always be back, baby. Always be back. So join me, family. Those of you who can join me, show me your names on the screen. This is a spontaneous love stream. I decided to do this a few hours ago. So whoever joined me, great. And whoever doesn't join me, great. You can see it, watch it later. Hello, Jess Mas. Hello, beautiful Jess. Show me your names on the screen, family. It would be nice. And here I am coming at you as this beautiful music and view is kind of cuddling us, the ocean, Cancer, water. We're gonna talk about it. Hello, there we go. Hello, hi. I'll take it down a bit. The music is a bit too high, and I'll take myself up a bit so we can be in a better balance. Here we go, much better. So, it's been quite an interesting week that we just had. I'm sure that you can relate to that statement. We had a big shift this week. Let me fix the balance a bit more. Let's take it a bit lower. Yes, much better. So this week we had Neptune station retrograde. So now Neptune is in retrograde as well, on top of Saturn, which went retrograde a week and a half ago. A week ago. So both of them, Saturn and Neptune, were stationed in retrograde at once at the same time. And that by itself is a big kind of a big vibration in the collective energy. Especially because Neptune is retrograding in its own home, so that's very loud, and especially when it's retrograding on a 29th degree and 55 minute. It's literally the final kind of episode of all his journey in Pisces. Neptune entered Pisces in 2011, the end of 2011. So, whatever spiritual path we initiated and whatever fantasies, dreams, healing that we have kind of initiated since 2011. Hello, Tiffany, San Francisco, 3 a.m. Wow, respect to you, Tiffany, for joining me at 3 a.m. You must be having a hard time to sleep. The 4th of July was you're still partying over there. Hello, namaste, Bharat, Rukshika, Trishan, nice to, hey, good to be with you again. You stimulated me, Bharat, to be honest, like your request for me to come live and share some love and insight. It's kind of was a nice cuddle kick in the butt to get me going and do this. So back to that Neptune. 2011 until now. Neptune entered Pisces at the end of 2011, then it retrograded back into my god, I lost my track, where are we? Back into Aquarius, and then moved back into Pisces in 2012. So it was like end of 2011, beginning of 2012 was that transition of Neptune into Pisces. Neptune home to Pisces, it's all about, as I started to say before, a spiritual journey, a spiritual path of healing, spiritual quest, a new journey of our spirituality, a new dream, or a new psychic development, spiritual development. You might have started your kind of spiritual awakening back then. You might have gone through some, I'm sure you've been through a lot of spiritual activity and journeys and healing over the last, 13 years? Yeah, since then. And now Neptune comes to the 2955 when it goes like, I'm about to go into Aries to start a whole new cycle around the sun. And it's a long cycle of Neptune, 160 plus years. But before I do that, I need to really realize what I'm ending, what I'm really what comes to an end, what needs to be released, which dreams have fulfilled themselves and manifested, and now it's time to surrender them and let them go. which spiritual belief system I've overgrown, which spiritual path I've kind of like I've mastered, what kind of illusions I really need to let go of, and Neptune Pisces is also the subconscious mind. So this is now that Neptune is retrograding from the 29:55 into the 27 degree of Pisces. This is gonna help us kind of like peel more layers in the unconscious, in the subconscious mind, going like, okay, so what is this kind of crappy feeling? What is this kind of illusion that I've created for myself? What is this subconscious fear? What is this subconscious doubt? What is this kind of maybe, you realize things. Shalom Dana, good to feel you. Maybe you realize things about addictions, Saturn Pisces, addictions, alcohol, drugs, entertainment of all kinds, sugar, shopping. Maybe, that kind of like comes and you go like, you know what, I've been drinking for the last 10, 11 years, been going out, partying. I didn't really, I'm just giving an example, right? Been going, partying, drinking, and I'm kind of over it. I've kind of grown out of it. I used to be that nightclub, furniture. I used to be in that nightclub every week. Everyone used to know me. I used to know everyone, part of that group. But I'm kind of over it, You might be coming to that stage, for example, with Neptune at the end of Pisces, where you realize that kind of like era of your life where you're going to rave parties and taking drugs and psychedelics and exploring in your own kind of way. Maybe you kind of grown out of it and it's kind of time to put that to rest. But also it's about mental health, Neptune and Pisces. So you might be kind of peeling now in this coming retrograde season of Neptune until March. He's going retrograde now. In November he's going to station direct, but only in March he's going to come out of his shadow. And then next year, in 2025, Neptune is moving into Aries to initiate a whole new dream, a whole new spiritual quest, a whole new connection to spirit, a whole new psychic abilities, a whole new spiritual knowing of a new self. So we are now entering this period of time, which is the intense part of this year. And you can sense it already. So much is going on, so much is happening. It's kind of like you think you figure it out and then it's changing. The world is weird, reality is weird, everything is weird. There is this kind of glimpses of the future and the new, and then there is kind of like you dealing with issues of the past, and you think you kind of overcome them and you've healed them and you move forward, and then you kind of start progressing and suddenly it comes visit you again. And so we are in this period of time, and we said it a few times before, that we are living simultaneously on different timelines. There is the timeline of the new self and the new future and the new earth, and there is the timeline of the old earth and the old self and the past. And they're kind of like playing together. We're in between the future and the past. And in this in between, it's an uncomfortable space because you don't necessarily have control over it. You're just being taken for a ride by different things that happen. You want to go forward and live a better life. We all want the world to be in a better place. We all want the world to be peaceful and harmonious and to have some peace and love on the planet and to have some harmony on the planet. And yet all we see is kind of like discord and division and racism and violence and wars and darkness. And if you do that detached observer kind of process, practice, and you just accept the fact that this crazy period of time, the dark and all these things confusing, accept that it's a part of the script, it's a part of the process that you are in. And accept also the fact that you can't fully understand it all, you can't fully put everything together, you can't define it because it's all fluid, it's all liquid, it's morphing. We are in this metamorphosis, we're in this dysmorphation. There's like the old form is kind of this morphing and the new form is morphing, but both of them are still not in the full final stage of it. So if you become too attached to the day by day unfoldings and the events on the planet and everything that is going on, you can find yourself in a place that you might lose your mind. You become mental, you psychotic, depressed, suicidal. Neptune at the end of Pisces. I'm at the end of the road. I don't know what to do anymore. I give up. I can't take it anymore. There's nothing left. That's Neptune at the end of Pisces. It's that place of kind of like despair, and some people unfortunately suicidal, and some people kind of like feeling very, very sensitive and very lost and very foggy and very confused, and mental health is playing out in many ways, and we can see it in the stage of the world as well. It's kind of like gaslighting all over the planet, propaganda all over the planet, crazy show, crazy making all over the planet, religious warfare. Neptune at the end of Pisces. Pisces, Neptune is religion. And with Pisces, Pisces is the fish. The fish relates to the Christianity, especially, but to all religions. And we can see that the world stage and the social media is just full of religious hatred. Religious war. One religion attack the other religion. One faithful person attack the other faithful person for their faith, for judging them for being less God than the other God, and it's sad to see. It's really disheartening. I see it a lot going towards my background, towards my roots, and I'm kind of going like, what the heck is going on? It's nuts. It's crazy how many people fall down that trap of division and hatred through the differentiations of faith and religion and spirituality. And the only thing that I can give you to make sense of it is that, as I'm saying to you about our personal path, that's the collective consciousness as well. We are now peeling the layers of all this subconscious bullshit, all the subconscious toxicity. Neptune, toxicity of, Neptune also rules, the health. So it's toxins, it's when you drink too much alcohol and your body go into that toxic stage where you don't even know who you are, you don't know what you're doing, you're not aware, you're oblivious, then the lower entities take over your body, and then you find yourself misbehaving emotionally, mentally, physically. You wake up in the morning in bed with people you don't even understand why you slept with those people. You wake up in the morning, you realize that while you were drunk you did the most silly things, and you've hurt some people. That's what happened when you get toxic, leave alone the fact that your body is now struggling for the next 2-3 days just to get back into status quo after vomiting and kind of feeling lethargic and headaches and all the kind of like being the hangover kind of effects. So we can see that in the collective level as well, that there is a lot of purging, there's a lot of peeling the layers of like, wow, are we still really 2024 and we're still fighting over religion? We're still fighting over God? We're still fighting over races? We're still like, what the heck? Like, how are we ever gonna create a new earth? Are we ever gonna create a harmony on the planet? Look at this. And on the collective level, it can also cause these things like that. Humanity is doomed. This planet is doomed. We're never going to make anything. It's all going to... And that's also kind of that false paranoia. Paranoia is also Neptune Pisces. That paranoia, the fear, the FUD, this kind of... You go like, oh, that's it, it's the end of humanity, it's the end of the planet, it's the end of everything. It's like, relax, take a chill pill. Have some more faith. That's the other side of Neptune Pisces. Have more faith. So you're telling me that since 2011 you've been on a spiritual path of meditation and yoga and juice fasting and ayahuasca and shamanic healing and sound healing and music and all these things, and now that it's kind of the time to show up on a spiritual level, suddenly now you're losing faith, suddenly now you're giving up, suddenly now you can't see love and light at the end of the tunnel. No judgment on that, because we are humans, and I myself also have those moments. We're all experiencing the challenges of this time, but the idea is like, when you lose your faith, have more faith. When you are in despair, practice faith. When you in the edge of your ability and you're feeling lost and confused, use faith. Step and connect to your spirituality. Install faith in you. Remind yourself that, creation and great spirit is amazing and it's miraculous, and things can happen out of nowhere, and the homeless somehow find home, somehow find food to eat for dinner, and the beggar in the street that has nothing suddenly get a donation that helps him get a cheap shelter for the night. So it's kind of like, remind yourself that there's always like that place for spirit to come and intervene and open the door, but we have to take the step of faith, and the step of reminding ourselves that everything's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. So allow this time now of Saturn, this is just Neptune retrograde. Neptune retrograde until November, and then in November it will go direct, but only in March it will get out of shadow. Allow this time now, from now till the end of this year, to really kind of use this Neptune retrograde to peel off the layers. Peel off the layers of your subconscious. Peel off the layer of false beliefs. Peel off the layers of false spirituality or false spiritual concept, or any illusions you have created for yourself, any addictions, any escapism, the places where you kind of like feeling the despair and give up. Peel those layers to understand, why do you have that despair? Why do you lose your faith? Why do you feel so sensitive that you don't know if you can take it anymore? And this is what this Cancer new moon today is coming to help us with, by the way. I just need a sip of I made myself a cacao. Oh, love stream with cacao. Winter time, baby. Just a sec. So, this was quite an entrance with Neptune retrograde. Hello D. Lennon, hello Jenaline, hello Kylie V, Adelaide, amazing. We've got Adelaide, we've got D. Lennon, I think, also Adelaide, I think. And we've got Melbourne in the house, and we've got San Francisco. Tiffany from San Francisco, respect to Tiffany, yeah. Tiffany, the funniest thing is like you watch me at 3 a.m., but it's like for me to kind of, my medicine in the last few weeks, I love football, soccer football. And there's the Euro Cup championship happening, but the games is like at 2 a.m. It's like I find myself, watching a game of football at 2 a.m. and I'm like, stay awake, oh my God, that's a great game, stay awake. But it's worth it, some really good football. So we all find our medicine, in our own ways. So Neptune retrograde, that happened literally a few days ago. It's here on your 9 o'clock of the chart, Neptune 2955, and you can see the red R, retrograde. Next to it, Saturn went retrograde a week before Neptune. And Saturn came all the way to the 19th degree of Pisces. It will go back to the 12th degree of Pisces and then move forward as well. So to have Saturn and Neptune both stationed in retrograde at the same time in Pisces, that wasn't making anything easy. Because if Neptune is all the things that I just spoke about, Saturn is that discipline and the maturity and the responsibility and the due diligence and the structure and the decision making with authority. And so to have that station in retrograde while Neptune is also stationed in retrograde, and now both retrograde, so it's kind of like you might have felt like you are late. You're not used to be late, but suddenly you are late. Your plans don't go according to the plan. You made an obligation, you made a commitment, but you forgot about it and you feel shit, or maybe you've made a decision that was not really the right decision for you and you don't even know why you made that decision. Maybe you feel a bit kind of tired or fatigued or lethargic or kind of like weird. Like that's how I felt. I felt weird. It was just like I had this weird background headaches. They were just lingering for days. They didn't go away. I had this fatigue. And I was thinking, what's going on with me? So what do we do when we do this? Like, okay, let me pay attention to the detail. What am I eating? Okay, let's eat more that, let's eat more that, let's drink more water. It's still like that. Okay, all right, let's have a long night's sleep tonight. Okay, that's better. So you kind of like, you attend to your own medicine. And that's what Saturn and Neptune are helping us kind of usually do, but when they station, it becomes a bit hard. So Saturn station in retrograde, going retrograde in Pisces. If you remember last year, we also had good memory. I'm yes, currently staying in Adelaide. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I remember. Because I said it in the love stream so many times. D. Leonard from Adelaide. You know, it's like the trick they say, if you have a trouble here remembering names of people, when you meet them, if you repeat their name 3 times, it goes better into your memory. So you go like, oh, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Oh, my name is Denise. Oh, hi, Denise. Nice to meet you, Denise. Where are you from, Denise? And as soon as you said it 3 times, it's already kind of semi-memorized, so it'll be easier for you to remember. Oh, that was my chair. I thought the Holy Spirit just walked into the room. So yeah, Saturn and Neptune. So the structure of your life may have been a bit weird in the last week or 2, as it was stationing and went retrograde. Maybe your discipline has been kind of a bit loose. And what I was starting to say is that, remember last year we had a similar concept of Saturn retrograde in Pisces from June till the end of the year. And it wasn't, I said, like, be aware, it can feel kind of like foggy, lazy, kind of like tired, lethargic, maybe a bit loose. Your discipline is not your usual discipline, your timeline is a bit weird. You know, you may find it harder to focus or to be responsible. But just the idea with both of them is, remember, they are helping us peel in the layers. The retrograde is helping us to look into, okay, so what is this about? The first process was from March, from beginning of the year, from March. Let's see, let's go to when they went direct. I will go now months backwards. There we go. Yeah, we're looking at the end of January. There is Saturn. Saturn went... Wait, let me move. So this is October. What's going on here? No, that's too much. Oh yeah, Saturn retrograde. Yeah, cool. So from November of 23, Saturn went direct. Okay, here it is, Saturn here on your 10 o'clock. Saturn went direct from, let's see, there we go. Saturn went direct on the 4th of November 2023 on the 0 degree of Pisces. So it was like initiating the new spiritual karma. Saturn is karma, so there is a karma, and in Pisces it's the last star sign of the zodiac, so it's a karma that is ending. We are all ending a karma. Saturn, 28 years, 29 years. So we are living through a 2.5 years period of Saturn in Pisces, and this 2.5 years is ending a karmic cycle of 29 and a half years approximately, which started in 1996, I believe, 1995. So think that since 1996, what is it? Yes, no, 1996. Yeah, 1996, Saturn was in Pisces. So we are ending a karmic cycle that we have lived since then. Or more likely, I would say 1998 is where Saturn entered Aries and started the cycle. So we are basically closing the karmic cycle we've been living through in the last 29 years, and this closure of karma is 2.5 years long of Saturn traveling through Pisces. To make it even more highlighted on a spiritual karmic way is that Neptune is also in Pisces, and Neptune also next year, both of them next year moving into Aries. So it's a real powerful cleansing and clearing and closure of karma from this lifetime, from past lifetime. There's a lot happening here, and that's why it's so intense. Now combine that with the fact that Pluto is now retrograding back into Capricorn for the last 2 months, September till November, to really kind of end the cycle of Pluto in Capricorn since 2008 until now. So you can see that there is a lot of really very potent, very intense, very kind of like karmic ending, death of the old, destruction of the old, breakdown of the old. Pluto retrograde Capricorn, Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Saturn is now in Pisces, ending the karmic cycle around the sun of 29 years, while Neptune is also in Pisces, ending a cycle of 264 years. 164 years. There's a big long cycles that are all ending. Like, look at it. Neptune 25 Pisces is gonna journey 25 to, no, this is back then. Neptune at the end of Pisces. Saturn traveling through Pisces next year, going into Aries. Neptune next year, going into Aries. Pluto is now on the first degree of Aquarius, retrograding back to the 29 Capricorn, putting the nail of the coffin, then moving into Aquarius in beginning of next year for 19 years. Uranus next year, ending Taurus. Uranus this year is going to travel through the end degrees of Taurus. Next year Uranus moves to Gemini. Jupiter just moved to Gemini, and next year Jupiter is going to move into Cancer. So 2025, we have a lot of big shifts in 2025 of the big planets moving into a whole new cycle. Neptune, Saturn into Aries, Uranus into Gemini, Jupiter into Cancer, and it's a whole new different landscape. But right now, 2024, Pluto came to Aquarius. It's starting the new future, but it's now going back to end the old job. Jupiter came into Gemini, but everything is still in the end. So Jupiter is like curious in Gemini. Jupiter is like, okay, so what's the new ideas? What's the new commerce? What's the new business? What's the new trade? What's the new friendship? I'm trying to understand. I want to understand things in a new way. But as I'm trying to understand things in a new way, everything is still ending the past. So there is this dance between the old and the new, the past and the future. Uranus at the end degrees of Taurus is kind of like, okay, let's evolve, let's revolutionize, let's reinvent, let's try new things, let's create some radical changes in the values, in relationships, on Pachamama, Mother Earth, in medicine, in health, in agriculture, in sexuality, in love, in values, in money, in finance, in economy, in resources. So there's a lot of transformation on the planet, and we are right in the thick of it. So I would keep on coming back to this message of saying it's a crazy time. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of things changing. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Accept it. Trust that it's all a part of it. And just get through your days. And just now is the time where, with all this retrograde season kicking into real gear, now we have Pluto, Saturn and Neptune retrograde. Then we're gonna have a Chiron retrograde joining in soon, and then Jupiter, and then Uranus as well. So the retrograde season is only gonna build up further and further. And it's all about where I got to now, that since November of 23, Saturn moved direct, and Pluto was direct too. So since November 23, Saturn came to 0 degree Pisces. It retrograded before it came to 0 Pisces, retrograded back into Aquarius, and then it came here, and it stationed direct on the 030 on the 4th of November 23. And since then he's exploring. And he's exploring, I'm gonna bring it back to now. He's exploring, and he's moved quite a lot. You know, here it is, December, January, February, March, April, May, and here we are now in June, and Saturn stationed on the 19 degrees. So Saturn did 19 degrees in these 7 months that he came from Pisces, from Aquarius into Pisces. 19 degrees. Now he's stationing, and now he's going to go back. Let's see, this is August, September, October, November. He's slowing down, he's stationing. There you go. You can see on the 9:30, 10 o'clock. He's stationing direct on the 16th of November of this year, on the 12 degree 41 minutes. So he's retrograding 7 degrees back, and he's going to check in. So let's see now, when did Saturn came to the 12 degrees and 41, and here it is. Here it is. So on the 24th of March, okay? So on the 24th of March this year, which was around the new moon, Aries new moon, it was after the Aries new moon. On the 24th of March this year, Saturn was on 12 degrees and 44 minutes, and since then it's been moving to the 19th. So, from the 24th of March until last week, it was, hey, check this out. Something karmic is happening here. Something karmic is ending here. Some structure need to be released, surrendered. Pisces, surrender, accept. Accept that some things came to an end. Surrender that whatever falls away, falls away. Maybe it's a certain Saturn Capricorn, and this is how beautiful it is, right? Because what Saturn is doing in Pisces, dissolving, surrendering, releasing, ending, something, character, Capricorn and Saturn, the character, the identity that you have in the outside society, your role in business, institution, where you know, how do you do you, the structure of your day, your habit, your kind of like your decision making, the decisions that you make, how you make decisions, your maturity, you're growing older, you're growing wiser, you're developing and evolving. You're no longer that little girl, little boy. You're now an older woman, older man. So you have different responsibilities, you have different duties. Maybe, maybe 29 years ago, you were a young man, a young woman, or a baby, or a teenager, but now you are an adult man, adult woman, and you are a mother or a father, and you have children. And so your responsibilities are completely different. And so now that you are really stepping into that role further and further as your kids are growing older, your responsibilities are different, your duties are different, the structure of your life is different. Your decision making needs to be different because there's other people dependent on you, and that's part of it. And that is supported by the fact that Pluto is going back to Capricorn, the home of Saturn, to kill, dismantle, break down the old patriarchy, the old structure, the old character, the old identity. Since 2008, Pluto in Capricorn until now, 2024, when it's gonna end it in November, Pluto has been really doing some deep demolition work there, exposing and showing. Pluto rules the unconscious, Pluto rules our trauma, our fears. So Pluto in Capricorn, maybe your identity and your character that you have created for yourself was based on predominant traumas of the past, patterns of decision making, your identity in society and your character, and how you do you and how you function in the system. Maybe it's it's been running on your trauma based mechanism, your fear based mechanism. You didn't really realize it, but now you're looking back and you realize that a lot of your decisions were actually based on your fear rather than on your love. Maybe you just had to go through some serious karmic I went through that, some serious karmic events in your life that came to show you deep insight into your unconscious, deep insight into your traumas, deep insight into your fears. Maybe you went through experiences of abuse of power. Maybe you abused others with your power and authority. Maybe you get abused by power and authority of others, and through that you had to learn the hard lessons that helped you grow and evolve. And so now Pluto goes back to Capricorn and say, okay, so this is done, baby. This is done. So that business may come to an end, that that kind of professional pathway may come to an end. The way you used to be you may come to an end. It's coming to an end. And it's the thing with Pisces, like it's because, and the thing with Pluto is forces beyond your control. Capricorn, Saturn, powers beyond your control, bigger powers than you. Pluto, powers, like your dynamic with power and loss of power and not having power. And this is all teaching you karmic deep lessons for your evolution on a soul level. And so again, the message is whatever is coming to an end in your life, just accept it, surrender it, realize that, give blessings for what it has done for you. Hello, breathe. And just trust and have faith that something new will emerge, something new will be born, and a new direction, a new pathway, a new character, a new identity. That's all going to come next year, right? At the end of the year into 2025, all the planets are going to make these massive shifts. The new is going to start forming, only start. But now we're in this kind of like mostly ending and breakdown and all these things and peeling off the layers so we can kind of really break free out of them. Uranus is helping us break free as well in Taurus, the place of routine and habits on values and kind of like how you value love, what you thought love is, what you thought sex is, how you used your sexuality, how you used your love, how you used your money, how you made money, what you valued and how you valued things. It's going through also an innovative, revolutionary breaking free from your own patterns and your own stagnation and your own routine. That's the Taurus-Uranus job, which is a big topic of the coming 2 weeks. Just a second. So I hope I'm managing to give you a bit of comforting understanding of all these big planets and the big picture of why the little details are so out of this world. So Saturn now is going to help us. So the first check this out of Saturn in Pisces was March 24 until last week. Now Saturn retrograde, it goes, okay, so what is this about? So maybe since March until now, things just didn't work for you in the same way. Things were falling apart, things were breaking down, things just kind of like, you couldn't find, you learned some lessons. And now Saturn retrograde, you go like, okay, so what is this lesson about? So what am I learning here? What is Spirit teaching me here? What am I supposed to surrender, to let go? What old responsibilities I no longer need to be responsible for, so I can realize what's the new responsibilities. What is this? And how can I learn to have a discipline and have the maturity and have the structure in times of no structure, in times that everything is morphing and liquid and kind of flowy and weird and chaotic, and how can I have that discipline, that maturity of spirit in me to help to accept that too, and to navigate through that too, and to know that not to fall into despair, not to fall into mental health crises, not to go and entertain those depressing suicidal thoughts or depressing thoughts or all this kind of like I'm lost and this. How can we be responsible to ourselves from a spiritual place? Pisces, Saturn. And so the coming 6 months are going to help us peel those layers, which, remember, again, Pisces is the subconscious. So it's gonna help us identifying these things in our subconscious that are kind of like causing all those things, the illusions. That it's a journey of disillusionment. It's kind of like, oh my God, I no longer want to go rave party and take shalom ima. I no longer want to go to those rave parties and get wasted. I no longer need to go to the Amazon and drink ayahuasca in order to get enlightened. I no longer look up to my yoga guru as the embodiment of the Bodhisattva, the enlightened God, because now I just realized that he is human too. He is human too. You know, I used to do this to people all the time. They used to come to sound healing when I had the center. It's like, oh, you're amazing. It's like, thank you, but you're amazing too. It's like, I'm not different than you. It's like, don't put me up, because I want to be right here with you. I want to look to you in the eyes so you can look me in the eyes. You know, in life, be careful of those people that put you up there. They will be the first one to spit you down into the sewage. Look for the people that see you for face value. They know you're human. They know you're not perfect. They love you for who you are. They accept you for who you are. They know that you're amazing in some ways and you're not amazing in other ways, but they still love you. That's the truth of Pisces, unconditional love. But I was always very cautious about the people that put me up there. I was like, these are the first people that will kind of step on me when I'm down. You know, and yeah, in the last few years it became truth, you know. A lot of people did that. But that's theirs, it's not mine. So Saturn and Neptune, that's Saturn retrograde. Now Neptune. So remember, Saturn retrograde, March, 24th of March this year until this week, last week, that was phase 1. And now Saturn retrograde, phase 2, until the end of this year. And then Saturn moves forward and go like, okay, now I get it. Okay, so from the end of this year, it will be like the assimilation of now I get it. But from now until the end of the year, with all the retrograde season, we're gonna be looking deeper into it to peel the layers. That's basically the job. Now, let's go into the Neptune retrograde. Neptune retrograde 2955. Okay, and Neptune is gonna retrograde. Neptune is going to retrograde until, here we go, until the 27th degree and 7 minutes. There you go. On the 7th of December. So Neptune is now retrograde until the 7th of December. And here it is on your 9 o'clock. It's going to stop station on the 2707, and then it's going to move forward. And guess what? Once it's moving forward, is going into Aries. So this is the last retrograde of Neptune in Pisces before he's going into Aries. So we want to use this on a higher spiritual level of like, what spiritual beliefs are no longer serving us, what illusions are no longer serving us, what subconscious thoughts are no longer serving us, what do we need to surrender, what do we need to give up, what do we need to accept? From now is our time to peel those layers. Sacred time. And for the world as well. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see the exposure of the lies, of the propaganda, of the, you know, you're gonna see all the crazy making people, you know, you're gonna see all the narcissism, you're gonna see all the psychopathics, you're gonna see it, and it's almost like Spirit is going to let us see through it. We're gonna start seeing through it all. If you haven't been seeing through it until now it's kind of like everything becomes translucent now. It's kind of like, oh my God, now I see it. Oh my God, now I get it. Oh my God, now I know why I'm doing that. Oh my God, now I know why I'm feeling that. Oh my God, I thought that love was that. And now I realize that the reason why I thought that love was that was because that's how I thought that love was, based on my experience in childhood with my parent or with my first girlfriend or boyfriend. And you're gonna start putting things together and go like, wow, oh my god, it's amazing. I just realized something so healing. So Pisces is healing, right? So until the 7th of December, retrograde, and then from the 7th of December 24, direct into Aries. Okay? Now, when did Neptune came to the 2707? Let's see. Going back. Oops, too much. Neptune came to the 2707. There we go. On the 11th of March 24. So both Saturn and Neptune from March until now was phase 1. Now they both stationed together, and now they both retrograde until November, and both of them in November station direct. And so it's very karmic and very spiritual, kind of like big healing, big purging, big surrendering, big letting go, and the word itself, remember, the collective level, that means crazy town, crazy show. So I used this metaphor this week, and I said to the community, think about this process of Neptune and Saturn, the end of Pisces, retrograding. It's kind of like you went to a pub, someone spiced your drink, and suddenly you are tripping on LSD, but you didn't plan to trip on LSD, you didn't want to trip on LSD, but suddenly you're realizing that someone spiced your drink and you're tripping, and the worst thing you can do is freak out about it, because then you're gonna have the shittiest few hours of your life, and you're gonna think you're gonna die. Instead of that, you go like, okay, shit, alright, let's ride this, let's go to our room, and let's just ride this and let it pass, and then we'll get on top of it. So don't freak out, don't lose your mind, don't think you're going crazy, don't get depressed, don't lose your faith, just don't go mental on yourself, don't go cuckoo, don't go hard on yourself. Just do your best, practice faith, have faith, practice spirituality, meditation, prayers, invocation, ask spirit to help you, communicate with spirit, ask for the support that you need from spirit, but also be responsible to your mind, to your mental health. Be careful with substances, with drugs, with alcohol, especially because Uranus right now is on the 25th degree of Taurus, and in the coming days, week, as Uranus goes to 26th degree Taurus, this is where Algol, the demon star, is. Algol, this is where the word alcohol comes from. Algol is the demon star. You want to be careful not to go into the darkness, not to go into the alcohol and into the drugs in order to deal with your mental issues, with your depression, because that could spin you into chaos. You want to use this as a purging in the dark. You want to look into your own inner demons, and you want to kind of say, I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here. I'm not doing it the same old way. I'm not escaping. I'm not drugging myself. I'm not drinking myself to oblivion. I'm not watching Netflix so I don't have to deal with my emotional sensitivity. I'm doing it differently. I'm going to see a healer. I'm going to see a counselor. I'm going to see a psychologist, a psychotherapist. I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm going to deal with these issues. I'm going to heal myself. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. So March 11, Neptune came to that degree. So whatever happened since March until now, we are going to review it to understand. So thinking for yourself, like sit in your personal time and reflect. What was happening to me since March until now? It's like 4 months. What happened to me in the last 4 months? You don't need to think too much, you know it. What has been the theme? What has been playing with you? What is kind of life? What was the problems and life issues that was presented to you? What was your inner process, your reflections? Maybe you're thinking about changing a job. Maybe you're thinking about changing this, whatever, right? Maybe issues in the relationship. Maybe issues with finance. Maybe issues with your job. It's all possible. Especially because I will get to it. On this new moon right now, Venus is squaring Chiron. So we are feeling it. We are feeling it. So I just gave you the build-up of Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And that's on top of Pluto, by the way, which is on, let's go back to now. Here it is now, Saturn, Neptune, 9 o'clock on the chart. Pluto on your 11 o'clock is already on the 1st degree in 15 minutes, is very close to go back to 0 degree. And 0 degree is where everything happened in March, February, March, where all the planets came through Pluto on the 0 degree. So here is another ticker. On top of Neptune, Saturn now retrograding back into March zone. Pluto now goes back into 0 degree in the coming days, week. And that's where everything happened in February, March, when he came into Aquarius. And Pluto in September is going to go back into Capricorn for 2 last months to do what I already told you. To end, to put the nail in the coffin, to end the old karma, to kind of like death and rebirth. No more of this. I'm done with this. This is done. Moving to the future, and the same thing goes for the world, for the system, government, law and order, financial system, banking system, stock market. Look at what has been corrupted and abused since 2008 until now, and watch it. Watch what happens now. And mainly emphasizing the financial and economy, because the Uranus is in Taurus also, the house of finance and economy, right? So, and Capricorn is the institution, the corporation, the government, the law and order. So there's going to be a lot of exposure. That will be a theme of the coming 6 months. A lot of exposure, a lot of things coming into light, okay? Which is the good side of it too. So that's Pluto, that's Saturn, that's this, that. Cool. Now, let's take it a few hours back into earlier this morning so we can talk about the new moon. And the new moon happened at 8:57 a.m. this morning. Here it is, 8:57 a.m. Here at your 6 o'clock, the sun and the moon on 14 degrees Cancer at 23 minutes. Venus right there, 22 degrees of Cancer, 57 minutes. Now we move into the local planets. We spoke about the big planets. And so the moon nodes also, there was a big shift, because now the moon nodes have moved to the 10th degree of Aries, Libra. This is the first decan. So this is getting really potent now. And Chiron is on 2320. Chiron is close to Aries, 25, 28, and that's Aries is the goddess of chaos and war and strife, and Chiron is the wounded. So this is kind of all the people that are wounded from war, you know, in their personal life and in the collective. We've got, this is going to be an interesting epic journey in the coming week. Pay attention, it's in the build-up already. Mars on the 19 degrees 30 minutes of Taurus, Uranus 25:56. Mars is closing in on Uranus, and next week we're going to have Mars conjunct Uranus. This means that, you know, very volatile, Mars, masculine, war, action, fight, rage, anger, upset. Also confidence, motivation, drive, assertion. Coming to Uranus, the sudden, the unexpected, the volatility, the eruption, the breakthrough or breakdown, the break free, electricity. So this is kind of like bzz, 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 boom, explosion kind of thing. As always, we can take it to the light, we can take it to the dark. On the dark side, this could mean some big war actions in the world. The war is going like Uranus. This is a bit scary. Uranus rules uranium, nuclear. Mars coming to Uranus. Are we going to see the countries becoming a bit more, as soon as I said it, there was a glitch in the stream. Are we going to see a bit kind of more heating up of the nuclear threats of one nation upon one nation? Are we going to see it kind of going into a bit of an itchy spot? Will one side do a radical, unexpected move? Are we going to see an escalation? It's all possible. It's also your Taurus, the house of finance and economy. Are we going to see in the coming week? Bitcoin has already saw it this week, and it was, by the way, perfect. On the day that Neptune station retrograde, on the day that Mercury was in opposition to Pluto, Bitcoin was dumping, Bitcoin crashed, altcoins, the crypto market has been abused severely by big institutions, by government. The German government did not sell $1 million worth of Bitcoin and off the counter to ETF demand, which there is a lot of ETF demand, institutional demand. No, they dumped it on the market on purpose to depress the market, to suppress the market, to break it down. Mount Gox, the old scam that happened, like the hack that happened in 2013 of the biggest crypto exchange back then, it's been in a legal system ever since then. And this week, on the same time that Germany was dumping the Bitcoin, Mount Gox has finally started moving the Bitcoin that it needs to pay to all their creditors. And so those two together combined, perfectly planned, Saturn, suppression by governments and big institutions, Neptune, propaganda, manipulation, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Both of them together in Pisces, creating FUD to the max, depression, abusing people, abusing traders, abusing the market in daylight, basically. Saturn and Neptune station in retrograde, and Mercury trades markets in Leo. Everyone's just doing whatever the fuck they want, in opposition to Pluto in Aquarius, abuse of cooperation, of global powers, of global, it was a global plan, okay? So the astrology was fully supporting it, and it was in a dark moon as well, exactly when the moon, if I'll take it the day before, exactly when the moon was on the 29th of Gemini, trades, the feelings and emotions from the stock market, from the crypto market, from trades, it was exactly in a square to Neptune station in retrograde. Exactly when Neptune station retrograde, the moon was squaring it from Gemini, and Mercury was in opposition to Pluto. So it was like the perfect soup ingredients for the dump that they've created. And if you had ever had a doubt that the other side doesn't use astrology, I hope that this is showing you that they know astrology too, and they're using astrology too for their benefits in that way. So this was kind of that. Let's go back to the new moon. This was the build-up to the new moon, which makes sense, because what it caused was also the fact that, you know, Venus, here I said Venus, let me just first of all align it with the new moon exactly. Here it is. On this new moon, Mercury is finally kind of broke out of the opposition to Pluto. And by the way, as soon as Mercury broke out of the opposition to Pluto, we are also kind of breaking the spell that we've been in the last few months. If you remember, since the beginning of this year, all the planets were concentrated within 1, 2, 3 star signs. It was Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, then it was Pisces, Aries, Taurus, then it was Aries, Taurus, Gemini. It was very cluster. It was very condensed. If you look even in the previous live stream, you will hear me talking about how everything was within 180 degrees, 120 degrees. It was insane because it was very kind of penetrating to that place. Now, as you can see the chart, it's starting to spread. It's not as focal intense in one direction. Cooking with Kaz, needed this. Thank you. You're welcome, Kaz. And now it's starting to spread. So it's like Mercury broke out of the 180 degrees. Pluto is there, but Mercury is now breaking out. Venus is in Cancer, gonna move to Leo. The Sun is in Cancer, Jupiter is in Gemini, Uranus and Mars in Taurus, Chiron in the node in Aries, Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, Pluto in Aquarius. So we have a bit more kind of like, okay, so that archetype is working like that, and that is working like that. But before it was like everything is working on the same thing. It was like press, you know, it's like you go to an osteopath, or you go to a chiropractor, or you go to a remedial massage or deep tissue massage, and they press on the point of the muscle or of the pain, and you just need to breathe while they're pressing to the point, and it's kind of like, oh my god, this is intense. Now it's a bit like, okay, here is an elbow to your shoulder, now here is a press on your shin muscle, now here is a head massage, and it's a bit more kind of like all over. Hello, Simone, you made it, woohoo! Love to you too. So this thing happened with the crypto market is one example. The other thing that is happening is the Poo 2.0. You know, as Pluto goes back to Capricorn, we were anticipating that there will be some kind of a revival of the Poo. Those of you who don't know what the Poo means, you need to go back to 2020 love streams and understand what Poo means on this channel. But if you already got the hint, Poo 2.0 is cooking, it's brewing, and it's like they're gonna try again, a new thing, and it's happening. The new toilet paper is eggs. In 2020, people were fighting over empty shelves of toilet paper, and now they start doing it with eggs, and very soon probably chicken as well. Suddenly there's gonna be shortage of chicken. One of the most common ingredients in the human being diet on a day-by-day basis, chicken and eggs. Now, everyone has an opinion. Everyone has their own truth. It's okay. Let them have their truth. You have your truth. Let them have their opinion. You have your opinion. Remember what we've learned in the last 4 years. Let's learn what we've learned and not do the same mistakes. Let's not fight over opinions. Let's not fight over truth. Let's just connect with people that think like us, believe like us, feel like us, but also be open to what other people know, because if we will be too attached to what we know and what we believe, it's like, we're gonna miss on knowing what they know. And even if we don't believe what they believe, but we listen to what they have to say, we might kind of get something from it that might adjust what we know and what we believe in. Remember, time of metamorphosis. So this new moon in Cancer, what is Cancer? That picture I gave you for the love stream. Cancer is home. Cancer is the heart. Cancer is the home of the moon. So it's kind of like the best place to have a new moon is in Cancer, because it's the home of the moon. And it's kind of like, hey, let's come back home. It's the place of the inner child. It's a place of nurturing, emotional security, comforting, love embrace. It's kind of like, you know, like a child feeling the presence of his mother. You know, take a toddler and see it like how it runs to his mother and he just hugs her. Now, even if you think that his mother is a bitch, for the child, the mother is the source of caring, nurturing love. Even if you think that that mother is not so great, for the child, that mother is the source of caring, nurturing love. And so, this Cancer new moon is coming between two full moons in Capricorn. 2 weeks ago, we had a full moon on the 1st degree of Capricorn. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a full moon on the 29th degree of Capricorn. 2 full moons in Capricorn, the beginning and the end. Very, very auspicious, very, very important, because remember what's happening in Capricorn in September? Pluto comes to the 29th Capricorn. And the next full moon is going to be conjunct Pluto. So whatever we are processing now, it got to do with the Pluto into Capricorn, with the September to November, with the end of this year. And so it's almost like I'm saying to you, we're going into a very interesting and intense kind of time of transformation. Of transformation and changes, and things are going to happen everywhere, inside of us, outside of us. And before we go there, this new moon in Cancer comes and say, what does your inner child need from you? How can you provide comforting, loving, nurturing, safe, sacred space for you to feel embraced, to feel the child again, to have some love, to have some caring, to have some comfort? How can you come home? How can you care for your needs and make yourself feel emotionally secure in a crazy world, in a crazy reality? How? That's what you want to focus on this new moon. That, you know, is like, right now, let's say you're dealing with a financial struggle. It's very common these days. You're not different than many other people. It's a very tough time on the planet. Inflation, interest rates, loans, mortgages, debts, the economy is in trouble. And you go and you're like, well, and then with all the Pisces, like, how will my future look like? I don't even know how I'm going to get there. How am I going to get through this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do? So that's the Pisces, Neptune and Saturn. Oh my God, I'm getting lost in despair. I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm so lost. I don't know what to do anymore. This new moon in Cancer comes and say, like, I know. I hear you. You're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling confused. You're feeling lost. You may be dealing with depression. And I'm not judging you if I'm saying all those things. I'm reassuring to you that if you are processing those things, it's legit. It's in the air. You may be experiencing waves of depression. You may be experiencing waves of despair. You may be feeling so lost that you don't know how to get through the next week or this week. You may feel so confused that you don't know where your life is heading anymore. You don't know what's going on with you anymore. You have no idea what you're going to do, who you're going to be. You're not the only one. It's many of us. It's the energy. That's what's supposed to be. Because we're all being taught how to accept that it's a place to be in. And not to freak out. And not to freak out about the world, and not to freak out about your own life falling apart, and not to freak out about not having money, and not to freak out about your business breaking down. Just have faith. And by having faith and discipline, not to allow the subconscious patterns of your fears, and of your paranoia, and of your losing yourself, if you don't allow that to ride you, and you grab that horse, the horse is dragging you on the floor, and you're being rattled on the floor, and you think you're going to die because you can see that the horse is heading towards the cliff. Instead of thinking, how am I going to get out of it? Just get up and grab that horse and ride on top of the horse with your faith. Jupiter is on the 9th degree of Gemini. On the 10th degree of Gemini, there is Aldebaran. Aldebaran is the general of God's army. Is, you can say, Archangel Michael. Is the one that God has initiated to be his general warrior, his top supreme warrior of love, to protect the planet, to protect love and light on this planet. Jupiter is coming to Gemini on Monday. So this new moon, we are coming into this new moon from Saturn and Neptune station in retrograde, for Mercury opposition to Pluto, which was like, oh my God, and Neptune and Saturn is like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. And the dark moon phase, and all this is happening. And also the fact that, by the way, on the leading to the new moon, the sun and the moon was squaring the moon nose on the 10th degree. When the sun was on the 10th degree of Cancer, 4 days before, it was squaring the moon nodes, and goes like, I just want to have peace and love, Libra. I just want to have harmony, but I'm not having it. The North Node in Aries with Chiron there, because Venus is also squaring Chiron. So there's this bittersweet, like, why things don't work for me? Why am I not feeling good? Why am I'm feeling wounded? I'm feeling so beaten down. I'm so defeated. I'm getting shit deal. I've got the shittiest cards ever. I don't have luck. It's all coming to that kind of Venus in Cancer. It's like new moon in Cancer. I'm supposed to initiate this new intention of being loved and nurtured and inner child and this, but I'm feeling shit because Venus is squaring Chiron. I'm feeling wounded. I'm feeling defeated. I'm feeling dysmorphed. I'm feeling skinny, I'm feeling fat, I'm feeling short, I'm feeling tall, I'm feeling I don't have money, I'm feeling I don't have work, I'm feeling I'm not pretty, I'm feeling I'm not sexy, I'm feeling that my life is that, and I'm feeling that this is that, and The relationship is that, is like I want my relationship to be harmonious and peaceful and loving, but instead of that we're having these ego fights. Each one wants something from the other. We are fighting each other from ego points of view. Of North Node in Aries, I want the relationship to be like that, I want you to be like that, I need you to change like that so I can be like that. And it's based on wounds, on Chiron. How you treat me make me feel wounded. How you speak to me make me feel wounded. I need you to change your ways. It's the way you speak, it's the way you talk. You go into fire battles, you go to ego battles based on each other's wounds. As Neptune and Saturn station in retrograde in Pisces, bringing all your subconscious bullshit up to the surface so you can see it, claim it, own it. It's your shit. It's your subconscious shit that you keep on bringing up because of your past experience and you don't even realize it. That's the subconscious. You think you're conscious of what you're doing, but it's actually subconscious patterns playing through you that are based on fears and traumas of the past. And it has to stop. Because you don't want it. Your partner don't want it. The relationship don't want it. Your children don't want it. Your parents don't want it. Your brothers don't want it. Your sisters don't want it. You don't want to repeat the same wounding cycles anymore. But don't try to find that peace. Libra. Who is with Libra? Black Moon Lilith. On this chart, it's on 0, but it's actually, I don't know why, but Lilith is actually there, right there on the 10th degree with the South Node. And it's the shadow feminine. I want the relationship to be peaceful in that way. I'm going to make it peaceful. But you can't. You can't install peace and harmony in your relationship based on your ego desires and needs, which are based on your subconscious illusions. And Venus is square in Chiron. Why our relationship is not a safe, nurturing place? I don't know how to feel safe. I don't know how to feel nurtured. I don't know how to feel connected. It's like, hey, what if you both try to connect from the heart instead of from the ego? What if you both learn to accept each other instead of judge each other? What if you both just show more compassion, more understanding, more acceptance? Nothing is going to be your way. A relationship is not going to be your way. A relationship is about both ways and more ways. If you're going to try to control the relationship to be how you want it to be, it will abuse the partner. It will abuse the relationship because you're in control. And why do you have to be in control? Because you're running the relationship based on fear that if you're not going to control the relationship, the same shit of the past is going to happen again. Your fear is going to happen if you're not going to control. But by controlling the relationship, you're actually creating chaos. You're creating fights and arguments. What if we just learn how to relate again? And it's kind of like just allow yourself to relate again. And what all this thing about relationship is not just you and the other person. It's you and you. And don't think that I'm saying this to you and I'm not listening. The fact that I'm channeling this through, it doesn't mean that I don't need to hear this. It doesn't mean that I don't experience the same things. I'm also like you. I had some tough times. I had some really tough times. You know, it's like, and what do? I learned what helps me. And so when I find myself in moments of crisis or discomfort or confusion, my medicine, I go to the beach, I walk on the beach. I go just to regulate myself. And I listen to what my mind is saying, and I listen to my thoughts, and I go like, hang on a second. That's not me. That's not my thoughts. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to make it happen. Things are going to change. I have faith. It's like, God, Spirit, help me. Guide me. Support me. Ask for what you need. And that's the medicine. So it's kind of like, hey, these 2 full moons in Capricorn, right? It's showing us what we need to let go and release and purge in this Capricorn, as we're facing powers beyond our control issues, reality, karmic issues, karmic lessons, karmic teachings, with Pluto coming back to Capricorn to end the job. But in the middle of both of these full moons, which is kind of like the intercourse for the real boom of Pluto into Capricorn, comes this new moon in Cancer and saying like, hey, I don't want you to focus on how fucked up the world is. I want you to think about that. Where do you want to be at the end of this year? Because from now until the end of the year, we're going through a review. We're going through peeling the layers. We're going through surrendering, accepting, ending, letting go. But where do you want to be at the end of the year? Do you want to feel shit? Do you want to be afraid? Do you want to be scared? Do you want to be wounded? Or do you want to feel good? Do you want to be healed? Or do you want to have the money that you need to have? Or you want to progress in life with what you need to progress? Or you want your relationship to be in a loving place? Don't focus on the fact that the relationship is not doing great right now and it's fucked up and this and this and that. Focus on what you want your relationship to be. Focus on what you want your life to be. Focus on what you want your financial life to be, your sex life to be, your love life to be. Focus on the new earth that we are birthing. How do you want the world to be? Don't look at the world how it is now and judge the future based on that. Don't let the current present darkness and chaos and turbulation, all these challenges, dictate the future. Don't try to look into your future from the trouble. Bring yourself up. Provide the Cancer. Provide a safe, nurturing space for you. Learn how to nurture your inner child. Parent yourself. This was the main guidance in the sound healing that I've sent to the community today on Patreon, which I haven't done the promotion as always, but I'll do it at the end. So it's kind of like, hey, learn how to nurture yourself. Learn how to provide emotional security and stability for yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to care for yourself. Do not escape. Do not use the escapism methods. Do not let the subconscious patterns of the past rule you and define you. Do not have despair. Do not lose your faith. Do not go into mental craziness. Do not go into crazy show of arguments and fighting other people because of their opinions. Be positive. Your inner child needs you to be positive. Your inner child needs you to have faith so it can feel safe. Now go and do it, baby. You can do it, baby. You can do it. Now Mercury, as soon as this new moon is passing, Mercury is moving through Leo, free to kind of, and now, important thing to know, Mercury is going to be now in Leo for months, because Mercury is going to retrograde in Leo. And so Mercury in Leo, this is everyone taking the karaoke microphone and going on stage and going like, I'm going to sing no matter how I sing. Mercury in Leo is a lot of drama. It's a lot of like telenovela, Spanish drama. It's a lot of like people debating, arguing, my opinion, this is my opinion, this is what I think. It's like pride, Leo ego. That's the shadow aspect. On the positive aspect, you just go and sing your song. Just because you're feeling comfortable within you to be seen again, to be heard again. So Jupiter in Gemini is kind of like, we will expand our wisdom and our good fortune and our good luck by socializing, by getting out there, going out there, meeting people, talking people, and connecting with people and organizing a dinner with friends or a get together with friends instead of sitting alone on the sofa, depressed and sad and lonely. It's about going out and meeting people. It's about socializing. It's about doing things that can help you get out of that place. And by going and meeting people, suddenly you have a brilliant new idea coming up. Suddenly inspiration, And so there's a positive shift coming this week, because now Mercury is breaking out of this Pluto opposition, so it's free to kind of travel. Venus is going into Chiron. Give me a second, I have to go to the toilet for 1 second. I'll be back. Just a second, sorry. My bladder goes like, let me go! Honey, I'm back. Once again, this beautiful music is from a channel that is called Awakening Planet, and this particular track is called The Spirit Frequency. Beautiful, beautiful healing music. For example, this kind of music, you know, you're at home all day with yourself, play this in the background, you know, just let these healing sounds heal you. Neptune, Saturn in Pisces, using music, sound, creativity for healing, you know, nature. So where was I? Back to the chart. So Mercury is now going to travel forward through Leo. Venus is going to do the exact square to Chiron. There it is. Venus exact square to Chiron is happening. It happened today. So sorry, earlier today, like hours after the new moon, at 4:27 p.m. today. Venus here at your 5 o'clock. Venus 23:21, square Chiron 23:21 at your 8 o'clock. And so this new moon has this bittersweet flavor in it. We're coming to this new moon from uncomfortable kind of week, weird week. And then with this new moon is this Venus, you know, Chiron, and go like, what the heck, you know, what is this? What is this? But the new moon is saying, it's a new cycle, it's a new intention, it's a new beginning, and it's an important one. It's the home of the moon. It's the home of your emotional body, your emotional security. It's kind of like, so it's almost like the bittersweet kind of ouchy, yucky feeling is testing us to see if we can still nurture ourselves and care for ourselves and love ourselves while we're experiencing not the greatest reality, while we are experiencing not the greatest moments in our life. And if we will do that and continue to do that, then comes this shift that Mercury is now breaking out of Mercury 6 Leo. This is, let's go to right now, okay? Here is right now. So now Venus is starting to break out of the square to Chiron, okay? The moon is coming, and now the moon is doing the square to Chiron. So this is happening right now as we speak. So I might be triggering some sensitive things. I might even made you tear a bit as I was saying all these things, because it kind of resonates with your pain body. I had a tear in my eyes. I was saying it because it's like, you know, we're talking real shit. We're not faking it here. We're being real. And so the moon exact square to Chiron is tonight at 1:30 a.m. 1:30 a.m. tonight, moon squaring Chiron. You might feel a bit sensitive tonight. Cancer is an emotional star sign, and also a lot of water. Venus, moon, sun in Cancer, water. Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, water. So there's a lot of water here. The other thing I wanted to say, I forgot. The new moon on 14 degrees, This is also where Sirius is. So the new moon is exactly on the star Sirius, which is the brightest star in our solar system, which promise, is again, it promises that kind of like courage and strength and good luck and success and wealth and kind of like endurance. So we need to stand up for the challenge. We need to not to give up. We need to install the positivity. We need to do whatever we need to do in order to feel better, in order to have faith, to have that positivity, to care for ourselves. And it's kind of like it's supported by the new moon being on Sirius, and also the new moon is opposing 14 degree Cancer, is opposing 14 degree Capricorn, where Ceres is. Ceres is the goddess of harvest, but it's also representing the feminine fertility, the mother, and the single parenthood. So this new moon in Cancer wants to feel safe, secure, emotionally stable and good and yummy and loving, but it's challenged by this opposition to Ceres. And so this might bring up to the surface issues in dynamic of single parents, dynamic of the feminine relationships, issues in the harvest, in what you've managed to accumulate, in what you managed to have, which can kind of challenge your ability to feel kind of emotionally stable and secure. But you need to show up to it. It's on Ceres. So even though it's in opposition to Ceres, it's on Regulus. So Regulus gives us that royal kind of courage and confidence. Don't worry, we'll get through this. Let's do this. Let's find a place of compromise. Let's just kind of, do things in order to get out of this, but also in relationship, compromise with the other. Saturn retrograde 1923 is also in opposition to Juno 1921 in Virgo. Juno, goddess of sacred relationship. There's a lot of relationship stuff here. Venus square Chiron, Venus relationships in Cancer, wants to feel safe and emotionally connected and secure and nurtured in relationship, but it's dealing with wounding, feeling wounded by the relationship, or maybe the relationship is just not where you wanted it to be. It's not as good, it's not as happy, it's not as loving, it's not as whatever. Juno opposition to Saturn, saying like, hey, let's look at it from a mature way. Saturn is kind of saying, Juno in Virgo is kind of like anal. If you are my husband, if you are my wife, you need to be like that. You are not like that, you need to be like that. This need to be like that. And you're getting so wrapped up within your own anal control, down-to-earth details of Virgo, of what truth relationship is and what true love is. After I already told you that it's a lot of it is kind of like wishy-washy with all the Neptune and Saturn Pisces subconscious stuff. And with the Sun squaring the nodes, and with this new moon in Cancer, and with Venus squaring Chiron, everyone may come from a very wounded place, insecure place, into this relationship dynamics. And with Juno in Virgo, opposition to Saturn, is like you may be anal, and you may be facing, some coldness. Saturn, cold-hearted. You might be facing like, you can't control. Saturn is teaching you can't control everything. You can't control a relationship. You can't be fixated on what this relationship needs to be. You can't control your partner, you can't control your children, you can't control your parents, you can't control other people. The world is not what you thought the world should be, because the world was never supposed to be what you thought it will be. And if you keep on being fixated and anal about that, it's gonna be a very hard lesson that you are learning, opposition to Saturn in Pisces. A very karmic, hard lesson about how you are so fixated on what sacred relationship is and what sacred sexuality is, which then disturbs your New moon in Cancer, feeling the inner child feeling safe and loved and nurtured and connected on an emotional level, which is emphasized by Venus squaring Chiron. So it's like, don't do that shit. It's a trap. It's a subconscious trap. It's a wounded trap. It's a bittersweet medicine trap that is coming into this new moon of saying like everything is kind of it's a test. There's a spiritual test here. Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, there is a spiritual test. Don't do that shit. Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, unconditional love, people. Compassion for yourself, for other people, for the world. Have compassion for all that is happening. Have unconditional love for all that is happening. If Creator God, that is pure love, is allowing this to happen, who are we to judge it? Simple as that. Who do you think you are? Humble yourself. But with Mercury in Leo, it's like, no, I know. This is how it should be. You know, Mercury in Leo is political debate. And now with the elections in America, Independence Day just happened in America 2 days ago, and that was the official 240 years of Pluto return of America, and now Pluto goes back to America, Pluto degree, and America is also having Chiron return right now. So you can see America is coping it. And I said from 2020, America is not the place I want to be in this decade. And you can see it's the hot spot. And so now with the elections in America in November, exactly when Saturn and Neptune are stationed in direct, and the path leading to the election in November in America. And America, even though we are not Americans, we don't live in America, that affects all of us around the world, just because that is. And so, you know, now with Mercury in Leo, retrograding in Leo for 2.5 months, Mercury is going to be in Leo now. And that's a lot of debate. That's a lot of voices speaking out about politics, about what they think, about their opinions. We're going to see it in Australia too. We're already seeing it. You know, the Prime Minister, first he wanted to divide the country by yes or no. Now he's kind of coming out in this emotional kind of like asking like all kind of things. It's all election-based bullshit. We're seeing there's a lot of politics stuff happening. And there will be, so it's kind of like, you know, don't judge other people if they want to have political debate. Just listen, you know. If you don't want to participate, don't participate, but don't prevent yourself from socializing because the people that you socialize with are talking about something. Jupiter is in Gemini. Go and socialize. Even if you don't agree with them, you know, sit and be entertained by it and see. You might learn something from it that you never thought you would learn. You never know, you know. You don't have to agree to what other people believe or to what other people say, to what other people's opinions are. But if you just kind of remain in this detached observer kind of wisdom seeker position that you're listening, you're not buying into that and you're not buying into that, but you're listening, you're not judging it. You know, that's what I do when I read the news and when I read people's opinions about if it's Assange or if it's the poo or if it's the you know, if it's all kind of different influences in the world and different people. It's like I don't force my opinion. I don't say that I know. I don't think that I know. I don't fool myself to think that I know. That's an illusion. I go like, oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that could be. And in that way, I was like, okay, yeah, I never thought about that. The flat Earth, the round Earth. You know, it's like, who am I to know if the Earth is flat or round? Who am I to argue you that I don't believe that the Earth is flat because the Earth is round because I was educated since I was a child that the Earth is round? But you present to me all these facts. It's interesting facts. It's interesting research. It's nice to look at it. I was like, yeah, it is teaching me some things, but to tell you that the Earth is flat, who the fuck am I? Did I fly on a rocket to space and had a look at the planet to tell you if it's flat or round? No. So who am I to tell you if it's flat or not? I don't know. For example, right? You know? So, on a collective, you can see a lot of that coming up too. So Mercury in Leo, lots of drama, lots of debate, but also a place to shine. So remember, this new moon is on Regulus. Confidence, courage, vitality, this kind of regal, royal kind of energy. I can do this. I will get through this. Where do I want to be at the end of the year? Right now I can't see the shit out of it. Right now I may think that my life is doomed and gloomed, but if I think about that, it doesn't help me. Where do I want my life to be at the end of this year? Okay, cool. Now Saturn. What decisions do I need to make? What changes do I need to make? Okay, cool. Mercury in Leo. Come on, let's get that mind into action. Let's be positive, let's be royal, let's big up ourselves. The lion, Mercury in Leo. It's not the scaredy cat, it's the freaking lion. I need to walk like a lion, talk like a lion, think like a lion, be a lion. It's my life, it's my show, it's my song, it's my movie, it's my story. How the fuck do I want it to be like? How do I want it to look like? How do I want to feel? Mercury in Leo. Venus coming off that square to Chiron, and as Venus is going to come to the 25th degree, which is going to happen tomorrow, Monday, on Monday, Venus 25 degree Cancer, one more day, here it is, there it is, Monday evening, Venus 26 Cancer, sextile Uranus 26 Taurus. Sextile is beneficial, there is development, and so this is a cool development here because first of all, we're going to have the moon coming opposition to Pluto, but then Venus comes off that square to Chiron. But then Venus is sextile Uranus, and there is a positive, sudden, unexpected development. The new moon was on Regulus. Now, be careful. The thing is that here is Uranus 26 degree on Monday, from tomorrow, from Sunday, and this is where Algol is. Algol is the demon star. So you don't want to break down and take your life into a spiraling chaos by going with alcohol, getting drunk, intoxicated with drugs, escaping, doing silly things, silly decisions. You don't shit your life, don't shit yourself. Don't. Instead, if you will stand that test, this new moon on Regulus, you have the courage and you have the strength, you have the support. And then when Venus sextile Uranus is like, make the right decisions for yourself. Be open to surprises, be open to positive developments. You might meet someone out of the blue. Jupiter in Gemini, 9 degree, Jupiter is starting to come into Aldebaran. So on the same time that Venus is sextile Uranus, and now Venus is sextile Uranus, and let's move one more day forward, and here is Tuesday, and Tuesday Jupiter comes to 10 degree Gemini, and Jupiter is on Aldebaran, and there is this divine protection, there's divine, the light and love are coming in, and there's the positive developments, something is happening. While Venus is breaking out of the sextile to Uranus, okay? Mercury is already 11. But look, there's also this big trine between Pluto, and now you're starting to build a trine to Uranus and to Black Moon, and Black Moon is not really there. But look, there's a lot of trines here, there's a lot of sextiles, so there's these positive developments. If we just be positive, stay too positive, just create this positive, nurture ourselves, care for ourselves, do whatever we need to do in order to feel good and love, and not going into the wounded, not going into the victim, not going into the bittersweet, not going into the why me and why this and I'm lost and I don't do that. Just don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. If you're a parent and your child is scared, you are not freaking out. There is no parent that freaks out when the child is scared. I haven't seen such a thing in my life. If my son is afraid or scared, even if I'm afraid or scared, there will never be a chance of that my own fear, that my own scarcity will come out when my child is afraid or scared. I will put that parent in guard. I will put that warrior to shelter my son, to make sure that my son knows, don't worry, Baba, Daddy is here for you. Everything's gonna be okay, right? I may be upset because of what happened to my son. My son is very upset, maybe, Maybe he's crying, maybe he's emotional about it. And I very emotional. Let's say someone said something to him that made him hurt, and I see my son hurts and I'm upset. But I park that on the side, because the most important thing is to provide my son in that moment comforting, regulating, nurturing love that can regulate him and bring him down. It's okay. I love you. I'm here for you. Everything's gonna be okay. Take a breath. Take a breath. Let's say your child fell down, got hit hard, and he's crying like crazy. You don't go, oh my God, you hit your head, you're about to die. That's it, you're about to die. You don't do that. You just don't do that. You pick up your child and say, it's okay, Baba, it's okay, you know, it's okay. And you give it a hug. It's like, it's okay. Take a breath. Have some water. Have a cookie. Here's a cookie. Here's banana. You are comforting the child. You are nurturing, even though you may be freaking out inside of you. The same thing for you, my friend. When you freak out, when you get scared, when you get terrified, when you get so lost and in despair and in depression, park it aside. Be there for you. If you want your relationship to be there for you, you first be there for you. If you want your partner to care for you, you first care for you. If you want your partner to nurture you, you first nurture you. Before you look for it anywhere outside of you, you need to know how to care for you. You need to know how to nurture you. You need to know how to secure yourself emotionally. And then you will see it unfolding from the outside of you too. Okay? So do that, baby girl. Do that, baby boy. Do that. Don't fall down the trap. Don't let it get you down. Okay? Stay up. There will be positive development. Remember, this new moon is about, I know how you feel. I know what's going on in your life. I know it's not the greatest. I know it's not the best. But where do you want to be at the end of the year? And be positive about it. Be positive about it. Give you example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is dumping. Altcoins have dumped. The entire crypto market has been slaughtered. People lost a lot of money. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Depression. It's depressing to see when it happens. But I promise you, by the end of this year, we are laughing our hands off. So don't let the current deep make you go into doomy and gloomy. Oh my God, what have I done? Why did I buy Bitcoin? You bought Bitcoin because you're a smart ass. You bought Bitcoin because you're wise. You bought Bitcoin because you know that Bitcoin is the only thing that has actually value, because the entire monetary system is based on no value. It's all fake. It's all an illusion. So, even if the dollar value of Bitcoin goes down, it doesn't matter, because in the future it doesn't matter how much dollar the Bitcoin is worth. What's really matters is how much Bitcoin you have, because the dollar is going home, baby. The dollar is going home. Remember that. For example, in one way. But be responsible as well with Saturn. Don't go just like, but put it like that. When there is such a crash in the market, when there is such a dip in the market, that is a great opportunity to accumulate for the long run. Polkadot, cheap. Theta, cheap. Ethereum, cheap. So many coins, Cardano, Litecoin, Bitcoin, they've been smashed so much. Cheap. Don't buy them when they blast to the moon. Buy them when they dump. Think of the correction as like, hey, you got a discount. Now, okay, it's at 55,000, 56, it crashed to 53. It bounced up, recovery. Now it will go back down. Is it going to retest the same bottom and go up, or is it going to crash down through it? Are we going to 40,000? Are we going to 48? Are we going to 45? Are we going to 38,000? We don't know. I'll be a liar if I tell you that I know. But what I tell you is what I do know. 55,000, good time to buy. 50,000, good time to buy. 48,000, good time to buy. 43,000, good time to buy. 38,000, amazing time to buy. But you don't know, so you dollar cost average. You buy a bit here, it goes lower. You buy a bit here, it goes lower. You buy a bit here, goes lower, goes back. And if it doesn't go low and it starts to go up, you buy it, you ride the wave. And whatever you bought, you just hodl. Just let it sit there. Don't look at it. Don't look at the prices. Don't look at your portfolio. When there's a massive dump in the market, avoid looking at your portfolio. It's depressing as hell. It will depress you. It will depress you to the ground. Just don't look at it. Come back in a few months. You'll see it in greens. Okay? So that's also part of like managing yourself mentally, emotionally when you invest. Just like don't let the movements of the market affect your emotional well-being, and it most likely will affect you because it's supposed to affect you. But then just manage yourself. Do the things that you need to do in order to regulate yourself. Moving on through the week, what we can see building up and what I want you to pay attention to is this build-up between Mars and Uranus, okay? So we need to pay attention because it means we live in very volatile time. With Neptune and Saturn retrograding in Pisces, manipulation of markets, manipulation of everything, propaganda, hidden agendas, lies, all these things are very possible. Confusion, illusions, People bought meme coins like crazy, some people made money, a lot of money, most people lost a lot of money. Scams, hacks, all these things. Be aware of that. Just like be responsible, Don't delusion yourself too hard, Because this Mars and Uranus in Taurus, this promise us we are now in period of time where shit can happen anytime, any day. Now this could be bad, this could be good. This could be like a breakdown of a relationship. This could be a breakthrough of relationship. This could be like, breakdown of your sexuality or breakthrough of your sexuality. It could be a breakdown of your business or a breakthrough of your business. This could be a dump of the market. This could be a massive pump in the market. It's volatile. It's unexpected, so we don't know what we're expecting. But we know that it's volatile time. It means kind of like sudden, unexpected kind of like rage, anger, frustration, like upset, fire. So we need to make sure that we are facilitating ourselves and doing us in a responsible way. Taurus, like Mars is slow in Taurus, so you may want things, you want the market to move. Come on, let's go. You want your business to take off. Come on, let's go. You want to make money, but everything is slow. Mars in Taurus, slow and steady wins the race. You want your relationship to get better, but it's slow. You want to have sex with that person, but it's slow. You met this new person, you're really into them, you really want to have sex with them, but it doesn't happen as fast as you want it to be. Fun, Jules, you missed most of it? Don't worry, listen to it after. There's a lot of good stuff there, Jules. You love it. And keep up the good work, Jules. Thank you for everything you do for the community. Thank you. And so, Mars and Uranus in Taurus. Let's scan the days. Let's see as we move through. You see, here it is. And the exact conjunction of Mars-Uranus is happening on the 15th of July. Okay, so 15th of July, from now until the 15th of July, this is the build-up, which is the most intense, crescendo. So it's like building up, so we're gonna feel more and more and more. Now, Taurus is also health, our physical body, our physical life, Mother Earth. Ooh, this is potential sudden earthquakes, this is potential volcanoes, this is natural disasters, extreme with Uranus. So, we could potentially see, we are now on the 6th of July. This is the 15th of July. So the next 10 days, anything can happen any moment. In Mother Earth, in nature, in the weather, in agriculture, in relationships, in finance and economy, in our values. Anything can happen any moment, for good and bad. Things can break down, things can break through. Very volatile, very sudden, very unexpected. And so we need to take care. And this is going to happen with the moon in Scorpio. So that's going to be intensely felt as well. Pay attention to that, because As Mars will conjunct Uranus in Taurus on the 15th of July, Moon in Scorpio will oppose them later on. On the 16th of July, the Moon will oppose them, okay? Now, the cool thing about it also that by then, Venus is starting to come and be visible. So that's another thing to keep in the background, that Venus is still in the hidden. Remember, Venus went behind the sun. We can't see Venus for a few weeks already. And in behind the sun, Venus is in the womb. And Venus is the Taurus section, it's the relationships, right? So here comes the birth. Mars conjunct Uranus. Boom, breakthrough. Venus comes from behind the sun and rising as the evening star. Hallelujah, a new experience, a new development, a new way of relating. So yes, there is the shadow aspects and the bad, negative possibilities, but there's also the positive possibilities. There's the transcendental. Your masculine Mars is having a breakthrough. You manage to reinvent yourself. Uranus, reinvent. Uranus is taking the rough higher frequency, quantum leap jump. Your masculinity with Chiron in Aries ruled by Mars, and this new moon, the previous new moon was conjunct Venus in Gemini. This new moon is with Venus square Chiron. And then what happens is that as Venus will pass through opposition to Pluto. So as the Mars Uranus is building up, Venus will oppose Pluto on the 12th, 13th of July, right? So I will try to come next week, but I don't know how it will work, but I will try, because I'm showing you something here that is very powerful, okay? So this new moon, make sure to attend your positive, emotional, caring, nurturing, positive outlook, even though it might feel like shit at the moment and it might look like shit into the future. But don't let it be that, okay? Think where you want to be by the end of the year, knowing that from now until the end of the year we are peeling off the layer, we are revisiting things, we are readjusting, we are surrendering, we are accepting, we are redefining, especially as Mercury will retrograde in Leo in the coming in August, and at the end of the year Mars will also retrograde. So there's going to be a lot more coming. So this is like future and past, the new and the old, and it's all playing together. But as we are farewelling the old and surrendering the old and the old falling apart and the endings and death of the old, we also need to give some love to this new future and the new self that we are birthing. So keep that in mind. So this new moon, Venus square Chiron today, tonight Moon square Chiron, we are feeling it. But then tomorrow into Monday, Venus sextile Uranus, there's a positive development. This new moon was on Regulus, giving us the courage of light. And then when Mars and Uranus build up their conjunction, and as they do that, Jupiter is on the 10th degree of Gemini on Aldebaran, Archangel Michael, the warrior, the greatest warrior of love and light, that is helping us and guiding us and protecting us. And after Venus was squaring Chiron on this new moon, comes this Mars conjunct Uranus on the 15th of July, and Aries is ruled by Mars, where Chiron is, and Taurus, where Mars and Uranus meet, is the home of Venus. So Venus just square Chiron on this new moon, and between this new moon and the next full moon, second full moon in Capricorn, Venus by then is in Leo, the royal heart. She knows what she wants. She knows how she wants to be. She makes love like a queen. She has great fun with her friends. She's singing her song. She's showing up. She's being seen again. She's having great intimacy. She's having whatever, right? And Mars conjunct Uranus for a breakthrough, for a transcendence, for an enlightenment, for an epiphany, for the lightning strikes into your masculinity and shifting your ass into a whole new level. I like this. Because although it's kind of, there might be some sudden unexpected things, but if you keep this positive healing, and positive and nurturing yourself and all this, and don't allow the subconscious to drag you down, but watch the subconscious, peel the layers, understand what you're doing to yourself and how you're doing that, and learn how to parent yourself different and change that. Then comes the Mars conjunct Uranus and the breakthrough and the sudden and the unexpected. I like it. Of course, there's the negative, which I spoke about, acts of war, uranium, nuclear, natural disasters, stock market is breaking all-time high, while Nvidia, which is the best performing asset, it became a billionaire and the biggest, like it has a bigger GDP than most countries in the world. He just sold his stocks a few weeks ago, and then the stocks have crashed severely, breaking history record of a company loss in one day. Now the next billionaire, which is the CEO of Dell Computers, he is now selling billions of dollars worth of his stock because he shows interest in Bitcoin, so most likely he's going to invest in Bitcoin. But this is showing you that the smart money is starting to exit to take profits from the stock market, which has been booming since 2008. Pluto in Capricorn. And Pluto goes back to Capricorn to kill and destroy the corruption and the greed and the abuse of power and money in the system, in the stock market. I've been saying this since 2018. The stock market crash is coming. It's a fact. And so is this going to be like this coming 10 days, some significant event in the stock market? Because usually it moved together with Bitcoin. Bitcoin crash, stock market crash, Bitcoin goes up, stock market goes up. They're both intertwined, but suddenly now stock market going up and Bitcoin is crashing. And that's an illusion being created on purpose in order to scare investors not to get near Bitcoin and crypto, but to go into the stock market, because the stock market is going up and Bitcoin is going down. But that's actually a trap, because what's really going to happen is that Bitcoin is going to blast to the moon and the stock market are going to crash. Remember this moment. Classic trap I see. Also real estate, Taurus, real estate, assets, precious metals, food, resources, chickens, eggs, chicken and eggs prices, all these things, right? Another health, sudden unexpected crisis, Mars, Uranus in Taurus. So many things can happen, but it's the unexpected, so it's hard to pinpoint it. We just know that volatility is here. Taurus is also relationships, so be aware of that potency of having sudden unexpected volatility. And with Mercury now for 2.5 months in Leo, retrograding later on, a lot of drama. So don't create drama in your relationship. Don't act on subconscious patterns. Don't bring toxicity into the place that's supposed to be the safe haven in this crazy time. If you are on a boat with your beloveds in the middle of a stormy ocean, the last thing you want to do is have a fight inside that boat, because that boat is the safe haven in the rough ocean. Instead of that, just hug each other and support each other and care for each other and understand each other, and understand that if your partner is having this volatile, abrupt behavior, don't go head into head with that, with your wounded subconscious patterns. Just realize, okay, they're having a day. Don't take it personally. Even if they send something towards you, go like, you know what, I can be a bigger person, I can have some compassion, something is happening out there. I just let them, give them some space. Uranus, give space, allow people to be who they need to be. And later on, they might come to you and say, you know, I really appreciate you gave me space because I was really in a bad space, and you know, that was actually really great. Thank you, I love you. You go like, oh my god, that was the easiest thing ever, and it actually gave me what I really want. Because remember, Black Moon Linear South Node is like, I want justice, I want fairness, I want balance, I want peace, I want harmony, and I want it now. It's like, shut the fuck up. Not everything is happening as you want it to be. Let the relationship be. Let your partner be. Care for yourself. No, but he doesn't love me. He didn't hug me today. Did you hug yourself? Go and hug yourself. No, but he doesn't really ask me how I am. Did you ask yourself how you are? Ask yourself how you are. Then you won't be looking for it outside of you. And then you won't be complaining to your partner that he doesn't love you because he didn't ask you how you are. Freaking sake. So, 12, 13, 14, 15, hotspot, Mars conjunct Uranus, Moon is in Scorpio. The opposition of Moon to Scorpio is on Tuesday the 16th, and this is building up, to the full moon. And by then, by then the Sun is coming to 25-degree Cancer, Venus 7 Leo, Mercury 21 Leo, and Moon goes into Sag. There's a lot of things happening, of course, but I'm skipping, and here comes the full moon, which is 2 weeks from now. We will talk about it, but I just wanted to give you a heads up about that because we spoke in this live stream about the fact that this new moon in Cancer today is the sandwich middle point between two full moons in Capricorn, which is very important to pay attention. Okay, full moon Capricorn, 1st degree, new moon in Cancer today, full moon in Capricorn, 29 degree, and it's conjunct Pluto. Pluto is on 0 degree 54 Aquarius by then, moon 29 degree Capricorn. So although they are conjunct in different star signs, they are in conjunction, and this is kind of like, this is what it's going to be about. And then later on in September, Pluto is going to retrograde back here, and it's going to be like the nail in the coffin. And on this next full moon, the Mars is already on 0 Gemini. And then what we will have to expect is Mars coming to conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. Okay, but there's a lot going on, but I just wanted to show you this. It's time to end the live stream. It's been 2 hours. Love and gratitude to you all for being here with me. It was really nice to connect with you and to be here with you and for you again. And thank you for your support as always. Love and gratitude to all the Patreon members. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me, so thank you. And if you enjoyed this live stream, please press like on this movie and subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends, whoever might be beneficial. What the fuck is that? Anyone who might enjoy this and find this beneficial. If you want to join the community and support me further, it's on patreon.com/healingdelight, where you can also purchase the sound healing meditation for the new moon in Cancer that I just posted today to the community. Every month I'm recording the new moon and the full moon, and the community members receive it, and you can also purchase it if you don't want to join the community. But if you join us, it's really fun. We've got a lot of good chat rooms, a lot of empowerment, and more ways to support me. Sound healing meditations as always on every Wednesday. So we are going to meditate on this Wednesday, coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. and let's just go quickly. This coming Wednesday is going to be, this is where, lots of good trines. I'm not going to talk about now. We need to end this live stream. So sound healing meditation every Wednesday, and private healing sessions, that's what I'm here for as well. If you want to heal, if you want to deal with things, if you want to shift your energy, come see me. We'll do some energetic walks, some sound healing, crystals, some yummy goodies to shift your vibration. And other than that, that's pretty much it. So hopefully I managed to give you some good tips and good insights and good comfort. It's tough times, it's insane times, but don't let the show overwhelm you. Just allow reality to be what it is, accept it, surrender it, and just take care of you. Take care of you. Okay? Take care of you. So thank you all, family. Thank you, Simon, and thank you, Alex. You just joined us. Cool. Listen to it again. Love you lots, family, and credits again to the beautiful music that has been cutting in us this love stream channel, Awakening Planet, and this track was The Spirit Frequency. Okay? Love and gratitude to you all. Be good, be kind. Happy new moon in Cancer. Bye. Peace, love, joy, happiness.